In this video here, we're going to be learning how to convert improper fractions into mixed numbers. So in case you forgot, improper fraction is just where the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Again, the numerator is the number on top and the denominator is the number on bottom. And our goal is to figure out how we can convert this into a mixed number, which a mixed number is where you have a whole number next to a fractional number. All right, so in order to figure out how to actually do this, the first thing we're going to do is sort of just look at conceptually what we really mean when we say 5/4 or 1 1/4. And it's going to be a little bit easier to show what 1 1/4 means first of all. So 1 1/4, imagine we have a circle here, and our circle is going to be broken up into 4 even parts. And we're choosing 4 because our denominator in both cases is 4. So what this means is we have something, in our case a circle, and it's going to be broken up into 4 even parts here. So in the case of our mixed number of 1 1/4, all this is saying is I have one whole circle, so I'm going to shade in all 4 parts of the circle here. I have one circle, and I have a 4th circle. So I'm going to draw another circle, break it up into 4 parts, and shade in one of those 4 pieces here. So I have 1 1/4 circles, or 1 1/4. So that's pretty simple for the mixed number there. Let's look at our improper fraction instead of 5/4. Well, this is kind of saying the same thing. If I have 1/4, I'm going to shade in 1/4 of the circle red here. So now I have 1/4 of the circle shaded in red. Well, in this case of our improper fraction, I need 5/4. So I'm going to shade in another 4th, and now I have 2/4 shaded in red. If I shade in another one, I now have 3/4 shaded in red, and another is 4/4, and another, I now have 5/4 shaded in red here. I have 5/4. So we can see from our shaded circle example here that 5/4 is really the exact same as 1 1/4. So that's all easy to do, just looking at this conceptually and drawing some diagrams or whatever. Our goal in this video is to figure out how we can use math to solve this exact same thing here. And in order to do that, it's actually really simple. All we need to do is ask ourselves, how many times can this denominator go into the numerator? Well, in this case, we can see that 4 will go into 5 exactly 1 time. And now what we're going to do, now what we want to do is what we are saying is, okay, we're starting with this 5/4 here. And now we're taking out one whole. We're taking out one whole here. Remember, one whole is 4/4. So we're going to subtract 4/4 from that. And if we remember about adding and subtracting fractions, as long as the denominators are the same, which in this case they are, then we can easily add or subtract these fractions. All we need to do is subtract 5 minus 4, and that's going to give us 1 on top, and our denominator stays the same, so 5/4 minus 4/4 equals 1/4. So what we're left over with is 1/4, then. We have 1 1/4. 5/4 is the same as 1 1/4. All right, so hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If it was, no big deal. We're going to go through a couple more examples so we can really solidify this idea here. Let's go with another one here. All right, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's say in this case, we are now given, let me make sure I'm selecting my pen here, 7/3, all right? We're breaking stuff up into 3 even parts. So if I have a whole bunch of thirds here, in this case, I have 7 of them. All right, so again, what we're going to do is we're going to ask ourselves, how many times can 3 go into 7? Well, we should be able to think of that pretty easily. It should be able to go in 2 times because 2 times 3 equals 6. If we imagine that we're trying to put it in 3 times, well, 3 times 3 equals 9. 9 is bigger than 7, so we can't put 3 into 7 3 times because that's just too big. It's not going to work out. So we can only put it in 2 times. All right, so now given, again, our original 7/3, we're taking out 2. We're taking out 2 whole circles, all right? So again, if we kind of think of this right now, we're taking out 2 whole circles where each circle is broken up into 3 parts. So that's going to give us 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts, and 6 parts. That's going to be minus our 6/3. Or a much easier way of doing that is just saying 2 times 3. 2 times 3 equals 6, and then put that O back over the 3. So again, that's going to give us our 6 thirds. So now we're just saying 7 thirds minus 6 thirds. That's just going to equal 1 third. So what we are left with is 1 third. 7 thirds is the same as 2 and 1 third. Let's go through another example here. Let's say in this case we're given, what about like 8 thirds instead? How about that? This time we're given 8 thirds. All right, 8 over 3. How can we convert this into a mixed number? We're going to take our denominator, ask ourselves how many times can that go in there. Again, this is just going to be 2. And now we're going to take 8 thirds minus 3 times 2 equals 6. And we still have thirds. So that's going to give us 8 minus 6 is 2 thirds. So that gives us 2 thirds left over. So we have 2 and 2 thirds. 8 thirds is the same as 2 and 2 thirds. And let's go with maybe one more example just to be safe here. This time I'm going to be given, let's say, select my pen again. Let's say this time we're given 13 fifths. All right, 13 fifths. Same thing, we're going to ask ourselves how many times can 5 go into 13? In this case, it's going to be 2. Because again, if we try to put 5 into 13 3 times, that would be 15, which is too big. So we can only put it in 2 times. So given our original 13 fifths, we're going to subtract 2 wholes. All right, 2 whole things that are broken up into 5 parts. So 5 times 2 is 10. Put that back over fifths. We're now saying 13 fifths minus 10 fifths. That's going to be 3 fifths. And that's what we're left over with. So it's going to be 3 fifths. 13 fifths is the same as 2 and 3 fifths. So hopefully you were able to get all of that. Let's do one more just for good measure here. Let's go ahead and say we now have, I keep forgetting to select my pen again, 15 seconds. All right, 15 halves here. I would like you to pause this video right now, try this one out on your own, give yourselves a couple minutes to try this one out on your own, and just see if you can get the answer. Come back to this video and we'll walk through it together, see if you got the right answer. All right, so hopefully you tried that one on your own, and let's go through the answer together here. So again, our first step is to ask ourselves, how many times can 2 go into 15? Well, that's going to be 7, because 7 times 2 equals 14. So now we take our original 15 halves, and we're taking out 7 whole things. So we're going to be 7 times 2 is 14. Put that back over 2, subtract them. 15 halves minus 14 halves is going to be 1 half. So that's going to be 7 and 1 half. 15 halves is equivalent to the mixed number of 7 and 1 half. And that, my friends, is how we convert improper fractions into mixed numbers.